everybody. Welcome to all of you CMXers to our mobile app launch party. I'm Beth McIntyre. I am the Director of Community here at Bevy, and I have the incredible pleasure and distinct honor of leading the CMX community. I'm extra excited for this event today. So a few weeks ago, we made CMX history and launched our brand new CMX Community mobile app. I want to know in the chat, who here is joining from the CMX Community mobile app? Anybody here on their phone or their iPad or their mobile device who's joining in, send us an emoji in the chat and let us know. This app makes CMX even more accessible. CMXers around the world are now able to discover, engage, and connect with CMX events from the comfort of their own phone. The app, of course, was built by Bevy, and one of our product masterminds will be here a little later to talk about how you can get the most out of the app and experience everything that CMX has to offer. Of course, at CMX, we can't just launch a groundbreaking platform without having a party to celebrate it, and I'm thrilled you've all joined us today to help us celebrate. We are discussing all things community-led. What is community-led, you might ask? This kind of program is often designed and managed by a small community team, sometimes a team of one, as some of us are all too familiar with, but the events are hosted by members of the community themselves. That's community-led. These chapter leaders or advocates are often vetted and approved, then provided with a platform to host events or moderate forums, and then a range of resources to help them succeed. Of course, because it's community run, the potential scale of these programs is incredible. With this kind of program, one community manager has the opportunity to reach hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of members around the world. All right, check this out. Look at this. Hi from India. Doray is joining from the mobile app. Nicole from the app. Vineet from the app. Look at this. There's so many people using the app. That makes me so happy. It will also make our product team very happy, I'm sure. Okay, so now that you understand the pure magic that a community-led program can create, you may be asking yourself, how do I do it? Have no fear. The CMX community is here to help you. I'm thrilled to introduce our speakers for today, who will be taking you through the challenges, solutions, and pure brilliance that is community-led programming. And first, please join me in welcoming our moderator. She leads the local community strategy and program at Elementor. Please join me in welcoming Tali Vasilevsky.
Hello.
Hi, Tali. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you
Tali,
for having
you're
me.
joining us from way far away from me. Where are you joining us from today?
From Tel Aviv, Israel.
There you go, folks. Global at its finest. I'm also excited to introduce our panel today. We've got three incredible brains joining us on stage. Our first speaker is the community manager at TechSoup, Eli Vandergiesen.
Hello.
Welcome, Eli. Next, join me in welcoming Ray Williams, community marketing manager at Twitch.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
And last but not least, Crystal Wu, the senior community manager at Shopify.
Hi, everyone.
Excellent. Don't forget, everybody, we do have Q&A at the end of this session, so pop your questions in the Q&A tab, and I'll be back for that. Enjoy the conversation.
Thank you, Beth. And I'm very excited, and hi to everyone. I want to thank Beth and Anne-Marie for holding this event. It's very exciting. I was personally waiting for the app to come up for a long time. So as Beth mentioned, we're speaking about community-led event programs. Are you running one of those? If you are, please drop a smiley emoji in the chat. If you're just curious to hear more about these type of programs, so you can drop an animal emoji in the chat. And meanwhile, I want to tell you that I actually can't see the chat on my desktop today because we have this fancy and amazing background. But I have my app here. I hope you will see that I can actually follow up and see your smileys. So, hi, Tal. Hi, Nicole. So great to see that community-led events programs are a thing. And back, of course. Tirza, hi. Amazing. Mike Davis, hello, thank you. So now that you're all here, we can start this show going. Before we dive in, guys, let's start introducing yourself. Ray?
Oh, well, yeah, glad to go first. So, again, I'm Ray Williams. I've been working in community for probably close to 6 years. Currently with Twitch for about a year and some change, running their meetups program and loving every bit of it.
Crystal?
Awesome. I'm Crystal. I have been working in the community space for, almost 5 years now. And I've been at Shopify on the shop team for about 10 months. So a little less than a year. And it's been an incredible journey so far. So I'm really excited to chat with everyone today about it.
Thank you very much. Eli, my co-host from the CMX Connect.
Well, I guess I'm the old man here. So I started in volunteer management back in 2001, working on big outdoor festivals, and so switched that into community management about 10 years ago when I came into TechSoup to support their Tech for Good meetup program.
Amazing. Thank you very much. So just to align, can you tell us what is your community-led program and what is the goal of having this program for your organization? Ray, would you like to start?
Yeah, of course. So at Twitch, like I said, I run the community meetups program. And this program is built to serve the community where the community is. That's the most important part because the community is our power, essentially. You know, we want to make sure that they feel connected no matter where they are, both on and offline, which, I mean, how much better could that be than being able to meet with other folks that are also interested in the things that you are online, but then potentially being able to see them online and having new things that you're engaged in and finding new connections. And that's how much I think having a meetup program matters, especially for your community.
Thank you. Where does your program live? Where the space where that is happening?
So it lives online and offline, like I said. So we use Bevy for all of our programming and event planning, but actually it lives with our organizers. That's where they are is where the program lives.
Amazing. Eli?
Sure. So TechSoup Connect, which is a program I help manage, is part of TechSoup, a nonprofit that helps other nonprofits get access to technology. And the reason the program exists has evolved over the years, but currently we live within marketing. And so therefore, the top goals for us are to find the 50% of nonprofits with whom we don't already have a relationship. So think of us as part of the acquisition. The other part of that is to sort of be part of mission delivery, which is to say, how do we build the technology skills of nonprofit staff? And one of the ways we do that is through these peer-led user groups.
Amazing. Thank you, Eli. So Crystal, you're actually building a new advocacy program right now that is bottom up and will open the opportunity for your members to host a community-led events in the future. Can you share a little bit about the program and the process?
Yeah, of course. So my community, it's really exciting because it's kind of in the infancy stage of what you would do with a community-led type of program. So we're really focusing on bringing together a community that drives advocacy for the brand and drives value for the members. And it's kind of like this community-led type of feedback cycle that we have going on. So we host a lot of sessions with them, but we make sure that based off of the feedback that they're getting from those sessions and more content that they want to learn directly from our team or outside our team, we implement that in the next one moving forward. And so our goal is really trying to make sure we can really nurture these early advocates to then later build that trust and experience and engagement to grow into the opportunity for these members to then host on their own and build outside of this. We really want to be able to equip them with the right information so they feel confident and comfortable to take that stage. So it's really exciting.
Sounds like this, and I'm sure that it sounds like a very good way of creating this advocate community that will serve very good the community-led events program. So I know that the pandemic opened up for us at Elementor a lot of new opportunities for our community and events. How did it influence on your programs, especially in the types of chapters and events that you're hosting? Eli?
Yeah, well, COVID blew up our community as it blew up so many of these chapter-based communities. We went from 120 chapters down to probably 15 active by the time we sort of shook everything out. And it's been super interesting because it's also forced me to do a real reset on my volunteer chapter leaders. Because I'd spent 10 years recruiting people who were super passionate about in-person events, and suddenly we weren't doing those. So I've had to sort of say, if we're going to do online events, I've actually been doing a lot of replacement of new people with new passions and new orientations. We also took advantage of that COVID pause to do some things that needed to happen forever. We rebranded the program, we moved off of Meetup and into Bevy. So for the first time in 12 years, we have actual usable data. I know things about my members. I know their email addresses. It's crazy. And chapter-wise, there's been a couple interesting transitions. So one, we went from city-focused to much larger geographies because we were primarily online. So we're now state and sometimes country level. So I have a smaller number of chapters than I've ever had, but as many attendees as we've ever had because online sort of allowed us to expand the reach. The other interesting thing that happened with the onlineness that came in with COVID is we've now started to introduce some topic-focused chapters. So instead of it just being around geography, we now have new chapters around WordPress for nonprofits or workforce development nonprofits getting together and showing best practices, no matter their geography.
Amazing. It sounds like it was the worst thing happening in the beginning, but it came out like on the best side. Sounds like this.
Mostly. I still weep sometimes at night, but you know, it's getting better.
Yeah, I'm sure. Ray, what was your experience?
Yeah, so like Eli said, going from having everyone meeting up in person to all of a sudden pumping the brakes as hard as possible was a unique challenge. But an even more unique challenge for us is that at Twitch, our communities are already online in their own separate spaces. So trying to convince them to then take their communities and bring them to the Meetups online community and participate in online meetups proved a challenge, mostly because they're like, well, I can already meet with my community in my virtual space already, so why would I move it over here and make it this space? And so that challenge forced us to get creative. And so we ended up having to build in new digital incentives because at live events, there are physical incentives for being there. So we had to figure out different ways to provide a sort of digital swag, have you. But I mean, digital swag in my world is more, it's just a gift card. That's what it breaks down to. And so, but we also had to figure out different ways to market these programs for them, because I mean, these event planners, these organizers, they are good at what they were doing, was in-person events, and now all of a sudden they had to learn how to sell digital events. And so we built tools and packages to help them understand how to shift their marketing and promotion and help provide them with different assets to build and promote those online components themselves. And while it wasn't super successful for most, I feel like the ones that did lean into the digital meetup saw a lot of growth, because now there was a chance for them to get people from multiple different places that didn't have access to these meetups before because of distance. Now they could not physically, but they could virtually meet up with folks from the physical meetup and then potentially entice them to go to the physical meetup in the future when things improved. So it was definitely a challenge, but something that the community rose to, which I was really happy to see.
Sounds amazing. And did it open up like new opportunities of different like Eli mentioned, like topic based or persona based events?
In our communities, it became more of so on Twitch that there's a lot of video gaming that happens. There's a lot of different topics of communication, podcasts and such. It really kind of got people to branch out into different forms of things they were interested in as they picked up new hobbies during the pandemic. They got to know different folks with different hobbies different from themselves. And so I'm really glad that it really did push them to meet new folks with different hobbies of theirs, so they could connect that way.
Amazing. So it's kind of my next question is connected to what things that you already mentioned, but how do you grow the program? Like what the strategy behind it? Crystal, let's start with you on this one.
Yeah. So it's really interesting because Ray and Eli over here kind of have like this established community-led program going. And so my perspective really is, how do I get to my community to the stage where that is in this new environment? And so what I do with my community right now is like we have a digital setting where we're doing sessions every month. And so we're creating that consistency of activity and engagement. And the goal there is to really make sure we have a good understanding and of like what the content is. The information is really resonating with the community. They have the opportunity to ask direct questions with the team and build that like wealth of knowledge around these type of information that's going to suit them and their businesses. And so our next stage on this is actually introducing in-person events where we're going to be hosting events. We're going to be bringing them to these locations. We're very fortunate at Shopify that we have dedicated spaces. And so in person, there are shops that you can go to. And so creating those events in person, our goal is to eventually have these members create familiarity and build trust between each other, but then eventually use these spaces as their own place and home to have those community-led events out into the real world outside of that digital setting. So we're kind of building the context there, and we're giving them that kind of like leeway to figure out what opportunities are available to them so they can kind of like take the reins and move forward. So that's like our strategic process behind it.
Thank you. Actually, I have a dream to have like small co-working spaces that are just for our community. Maybe it will happen someday. Thank you, Crystal. Eli, how are you growing the program at Tech Shop?
You're saying like I have some clever strategy? Of course I don't. As my granny always said, beggars can't be choosers. And when I'm looking to find a volunteer to do what is frankly a really hard thing, basically come up with one event a month till the day you die, I'm gonna give almost anyone a chance. And so if they can get over the rather significant barriers to entry I've put up, I'm willing to have a conversation with people and try and bring them in. The growth itself has always historically come from within community referrals. And primarily what that really looked like is someone would go to a great event in Montreal, and then they would move to London, and they'd be like, why isn't this cool community here in London? And so they would find me, reach out and say, could I start a new chapter? And I was like, well, I guess, sure. And that has honestly been where I find all the very best people. Either they were an existing member of the community, or even more common, they were a member of like a chapter leader. And they're like, oh, I did this thing in Philly, but now I'm in New York. Could I do this in New York too? And the answer, of course, is yes. So I've had like these Johnny Appleseeds, like wandering the country, starting up new chapters as they move across the world.
And it sounds very interesting, and you have like to motivate people to move. I think it's It's like a good it's a good option to grow. Do you also support somehow like the growth of like the spreading the word about these meetups so there will be more participants?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, from the participant side of things, yes, I've got a pretty powerful mailing list for our segment. Half of all US and global nonprofits already have an account with us as an organization. And so I'm going to create email campaigns from head office to support the upcoming events, drive our attendees through there. And what we see actually very reliably from this is usually about 30% of every event attendees are totally brand new people to us, because our attendees are saying like, oh, I'm a TechSoup member, I saw this cool event, but then they put it off to, they refer someone else in the sector who we didn't know. And so that's how we're also finding new people, is through those email marketing campaigns.
Amazing. It's a very good way of doing this. Ray, how are you growing that program?
Much like Eli, I don't really have a secret sauce. I don't have the formula for the Krabby Patty for growing this segment for us. But again, if we throw it back to the community, it's really the community inspiring other communities to form up. I mean, also it's curiosity. I'll have folks email us like, "Hey, I'm in Las Vegas and I don't know if there's a meetup near me. Can I start one?" And if there's one near them, we tell them about the one that's near them. And if there's not, we offer them the opportunity. It's like, well, you took the initiative to reach out and ask about one. Would you be interested in starting one? And then we kind of take the conversation from there into how we can grow that individual into the kind of organizer that we're looking for. I'm a little bit meatier than Eli. I asked them to have 2 events a month. So it is a lot of work. And so the folks that we get, they are very, 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 very passionate about the community already, because it's not an easy job, and the work that they do is meaningful not just to themselves but to the folks in the communities around them, because it gives them a place where they feel comfortable and welcome and have a likeness that they wouldn't necessarily get from just going to any other type of gathering of that kind.
Amazing. So if somebody has in the chat a secret sauce, you can please share it with us, because I'm sure that we can learn. But I can definitely relate. It's just like it's picking in the like a needle in the middle of nowhere. But it's when you find these people, it's amazing, because they're really dedicated to what they're doing in the community. So we spoke about COVID earlier. Does anyone in your community speaking about going back to in-person like full power, or you're just keeping this like to the organizers to decide? Right?
Actually, yes. It was about maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I've had our organizers just kind of like chomping at the bit, like we want to get back in person so bad. But my messaging to them was, I need you to follow your local regulations and guidelines. You have to make sure that you're following those to keep these people safe. And as things have changed, and I mean, it was different. It's different all over the world, and so it's different for our different organizers. So there are some that have met in person, but there are others that haven't met in person since 2020, and so now we're starting to see those groups get a little bit more comfortable in planning live events. So yeah, there's kind of a split 50-50. There's those still who are doing digital events versus those that are doing in-person events, but there are some that have adopted that they're going to do both. They'll do one event that's in person and another event that's virtual for folks who couldn't attend the in-person event, which has been a really cool thing to see.
Yeah, definitely. Another benefit of COVID is the ability to understand, hey, I can have these two hybrid events or just one of them at a time. It's a very good solution. I think but in the end, it benefits the organization and the community as a whole. So going next, we mentioned the organizers and the fact that it's hard and it's challenge to find those people. So Crystal, how do you motivate your members to be part of the program, attend events, and again, making them a lot of motivation to be a host in the future?
Yeah. So with my community, we are a private community, which is why not really share too much about it at the moment. And again, it's because it's in this infancy stage and I'm really trying to nurture it. And so to motivate our members to be part of it is it's kind of like the power of the exclusivity of what this community can offer them. They have like the ability to get direct access to the team. They can participate in terms of meeting with the other members and who are basically other brands. And they also have the ability to kind of tap in and tap out either in digital sessions, or we run ours off of Slack. And so they can kind of communicate when needed. But it's that like intimacy right now that we have, but also that power of connection that they likely wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. And so what we're really doing is hearing from other teams internally, like from our customer success teams or our account management teams, and they're letting us know like, hey, this brand is really excited about what we're doing with this product or this feature. And I'm taking that and I'm like, let's like do more with them. Like if they're already having interest and sparking excitement, like let's turn that up and do what we can in terms of this community to kind of really like expand the opportunities with them. So yeah, that's kind of the way we really motivate and get them involved in it.
Amazing. Thank you. So Eli, how do you support your organizers? Do you give them any recognition? How do you motivate them to stay organizers?
Well, all I have is love at the end of the day. Love and recognition. I don't have budgets. I don't have, gift cards I'm sending around. What I've got is cheerleading and telling people that they are the best people ever. And so what does that really look like? At a practical level, that's a LinkedIn or social post, but also it's a lot of special invitations to like come join us at like the partners only meeting where you get to like see like what's happening behind the screen, or maybe it's going to be us featuring them when we're going in writing a blog post. We're like, well, we need an expert on like hybrid events. Well, I've got 30 of them in my back pocket from all my community organizers. So I'm going to feature those people so they both solve my problem of like, I need an expert for my next article, but also I'm giving prominence and building the expertise and reputation of my chapter leaders. And that's probably the core thing I'm able to offer people directly from the mothership.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that the content that is coming from the community and especially giving recognition to these people that are contributing so much, this is amazing win-win situation in most cases. Ray, how is it in yours?
So I'm again, much like Eli, we do not also like monetarily support our organizers, but I am also one of their biggest cheerleaders. It's just like I'm yelling from the rafters, yeah, the event looks great, it's great, you're doing so good. I'm the very excited parent from the sideline. But it's also we try and provide them with the tools that they need and make sure that those tools are always available and sharpened. We don't want them using dull tools. We want to make sure they have exactly what they need for when they need it. But we do also supply them with swag to give out at their events, so they don't have to worry about that. And we also supply the platform of Bevy for them to organize and plan their events, which I feel like is a very powerful tool for them to use. But then also in that, we try to make sure that they feel like they are a standout from the crowd, because again, like I said before, they do a lot of hard work, and so we try to send them personalized swag so that way people know it's like if you see that purple hoodie, that person is an organizer. Like, and it's a specific, so that way they know. But that's also been sort of a challenge for us as well. It's just how do we make them feel more connected and like they do have that level of importance that they provide for us. So it's just making sure we're paying attention to them when they need us, but also when they don't need us.
Yeah, the small things. So all of you have like kind of playbook or something that is like it's part of your onboarding process to share knowledge and best practices with the organizers about hosting the events. Eli?
Yeah. So, like, are you talking sort of about more like the impact side of things?
Yeah, the impact side of things. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, are you talking sort of about more like the impact side of things? So, like, are you talking sort of about more like the impact side of things?
Yeah, like the how, like, teaching them, or not teaching, but sharing like best practices about hosting
Right, right.
meetups, or topics, or like kits of content for the events.
Yeah. So in our world, what we've got is a Zendesk playbook, essentially, where we have taken all of the best practices that have emerged from the chapter hosts and genericized them and put those into a place where you can say, like, oh, do you need a template for this kind of event? Boom, it exists here. Or you need a template letter because you're looking to form a partnership or a sponsorship? It exists here. So the idea there is to always not have someone start from scratch. We can always build on the work that's happened within the community. And then to support that, I'll also have office hours every 2 weeks where people can come in, ask any kind of question. But really, I think much of the activity is happening in the Slack group where people are saying, like, well, here's my problem. Let's all crowdsource a solution. And then I basically take those great ideas, put them into the playbook for long-term storage.
Thank you, Eli. So one of the most important questions that we're being asked in our profession is, how does our community program impact the business side? What is your answer to this question when you're asked by management or other stakeholders? Ray, do you want to start?
Sure. I mean, we're nothing without our community. And the Meetups program is all about building and showing the community that there are so many people around them that love what they love. And so it's our hope that when folks are going to these meetups, that if they're not already a creator on Twitch, or they're just kind of like curious about creating on Twitch, that they are inspired to start trying to create on Twitch. Because I mean, I feel like it's a wonderful way for folks to see people who are doing it. It's like, they're doing that. I can do that. It is more, if they hadn't been working or like, hanging out with this other creator, they're like, yes, you are a person that is just like me. We're both people. And it gives them that connection. And it's the hope of these events that the community sees the community and inspires the community to grow as both creators and as participants in the community.
Amazing. Crystal?
Yeah, I mean, Ray kind of mentioned like nothing without the community, and it's kind of like the same thing here. Communities are so foundational in terms for businesses to kind of be able to use that as the outlet to show their support and show their love for folks who have so much passion for what you're doing. And what we're trying to do with the business side for our community is really like retain these brands and get them to be super advocates, because with Shop at Shopify, we've been around for about 2 years, so it's actually hasn't been that long, and then we're in this weird unique case where we're under this umbrella of this major brand of Shopify. And so it's like, how do we get brands to trust what we're doing, get invested in what we're doing, but also come along for that journey. And so that's kind of really where we're focusing on, is super driving that advocacy, eventually scaling out this program to be a global expansion versus just kind of like a North American expansion, and find those pockets that we can reach where the potential audience is for future communities that love what we do, and we want to have them be part of that ecosystem.
Amazing. You're definitely the scaling. I think it's a key figure in community-led programs in general. Eli, do you have your thoughts? And I know you have.
I do have thoughts. So I would say high level, I care about the soft, squishy things. Are people having deep, meaningful experiences? I would say the organization sometimes is less interested in that on a day-to-day basis. And what they really care about is, one, acquisition of new members, a thing I can, through the magic of Bevy and the HubSpot integration, actually track. Hooray. They also care about driving catalog purchases, a thing I can semi-track. And then the last thing we really care about is, are we delivering on mission, increasing people's skills with technology? A thing I am frankly struggling to track right now. And that's the next challenge I'm coming up against.
Thank you much, Eli, and I hope that you will find this way how to track this. What would you say, maybe it's like leading me to the next question, what would you say is your biggest challenge with running this program?
So
Eli,
from my standpoint, yeah, bums and seats is the issue. Bums and seats is the key to everything. If I have bums to seats, I have acquisition, I'll have retention of my chapter leaders. If they don't have anyone showing up, the chapter leaders are in turn going to disappear. So if I can solve that problem, almost all the other problems solve themselves.
If anyone has an offer for Eli, feel free to drop in the chat. We will read it in a few minutes. Ray, what is your challenge?
Similar. It's just getting folks to have the courage to come to these events, because some folks aren't comfortable going into an in-person event when everything that they've known about the community has been virtual for so long. But another big challenge is making sure that our organizers don't feel a financial pressure that they put on themselves. We know that they want to make their events bigger and better, but sometimes that comes with a financial burden that we are wanting to try and alleviate, but also communicate that that's not completely necessary. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to put on a fantastic event. It's just you have to care and show the folks that you care, the people that you are there, care, and that they're safe. Safety is a really big thing, and so I feel like one of our biggest challenges is just making sure that organizers know that they don't need to go as big as the mountain, but also understand that people show up because they want to show up.
It's a very good, important mention to say. I think that definitely people are coming for people in the end, or community is for people. It's not about these big fancy events, which are amazing, but it's something else. Thank you, Ray. So now we have a last very fun question. Crystal, let's start with you. What is the bite-sized tweet that you would give folks wanting to start a community-led events program?
Great question. I feel like I've actually heard so many good quotes already in this discussion that I was like, oh, I've got to note that down. For me, it would be making sure that you have your intentional leading with the community's best interests first. Because if you're keeping the community's needs and interests top of mind, then you're going to be creating events that are going to inspire and invoke more activity and attendance and kind of create that chain reaction. And that's what I'm trying to focus on now yeah, lead with that. That was more than 140 characters. Oh my gosh. That was so bad. I can't even...
Yeah.
Edit that one out.
It's okay. You can think about something in the limit of the characters and write it in the chat.
Yeah.
Eli?
So I think my advice is that people shouldn't hold on too tightly to their brand. If we want to create a movement, a community rather than a company, we need to let others tell the story of the work and our impact we do and the change we're making. And we need to enable those people to grow our community, because they can reach people we're never going to reach with our current messaging and marketing.
Eli, you need to work on your character limit, but it is a great tip. Ray, can you stand in the challenge?
Ooh, there's a lot of pressure now. Let's see. So put your arms around your community in terms of embracing, but also protecting them.
Oh.
Good.
I love it. You won.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure. And now we're still here for the next 10 minutes. But now we will have Beth with us bringing your questions.
Yes, I'm back. And this time, know that I'm going to be on screen so I can have a big smile on my face. A totally insightful conversation. I love hearing about such different experiences with each of you hosting different programs like this with different goals and different values and different people and members. But ultimately, all of your advice and your tips really do translate across all different kinds of programs. So this has been fantastic. We've got lots of questions. If you don't have a question, you can still go into the Q&A tab and actually like or upvote questions that you do want to have answered. I will be asking them in order of most liked at this point. So Eric Peterson asked a question about 20 minutes ago. I feel like we answered the first part of this question, but the second part remains unanswered. How do you identify individuals you feel would be good at helping expand the community through that volunteer program? How do you qualify them so they help and not harm the community? Eli, do you want to take a stab at that one?
Sure. So the first part about qualification is I forced everyone to get on a phone call with me for half an hour. If they are not willing to get on a phone call with me, they don't proceed beyond there. I need to have people who are comfortable with that, and I need to do a sanity check just to see, like, do they come off as a regular human being or a crazy person? So that's part of what I need to do. As for how I find those people, in addition to the referrals, I am going to reach out to people who already have an existing network, because one of the strongest indicators of whether a chapter will succeed is the strength and power of the chapter leader. If they're a natural networker and are going to attract people to them, they're going to succeed. So I will often go onto Twitter and say, I'm looking for someone in Boston. Let's look for in Boston, has some of the hashtags I'm looking for, and has like at least 2,000 followers, and then do a little bit of outreach to that, a bit of cold calling. Doesn't always work, but shockingly will work more than you would think.
That's great advice. Okay, Aaron's question is the next most liked. Do you have any written documentation for onboarding or how you run the community hosted events that could help us? Are there any templates anyone can share? I do have an answer for this, but Ray, do you tell us about your onboarding process?
That was one of the challenges I had when I took this role, was creating an official onboarding process. And so some of that work was already done for me, which made it a little easier for myself. But we do have a lot of written documents that give them tips, ideas, and just what's expected, because that's the biggest point is expectation. You have to set expectations. And that's kind of what we harp on when we bring folks on. It's like, this is what is expected of you, and this is what we ask of you, which is, I think, two different things.
Yeah, and I love that you've mentioned expectations, because I think that having expectations at the beginning for both parties, both the organization saying, these are our expectations of you, but also allowing your member, your volunteer to set their expectations of the organization as well. Tali, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that I feel there's it's an article coming for the blog, CMX blog, because it's a question that we got getting a lot. And yeah, we have those, but it's sometimes difficult to share because there are like some things inside, but I think that's sharing a template or something. It's a great idea. And Erin, if I'm not mistaken, on the chapter programs, we have a recording from previous events from this year about onboarding leaders. So you can definitely get a lot of insights from this episode.
Tali, you took the words right out of my mouth. I feel like maybe the 4 people who are on this call, maybe including me for CMX Connect, we could all commit to making a public version of our onboarding process as like an example for people to just see some of the questions that some organizations are asking, or some of the steps and how different organizations are doing it. I know I just promised on behalf of all of you, but maybe that's something we can do. We'll take that to email. Okay, next question. Nicole, ooh, this is a good one. What is the most, I assume, important thing to have in place or figured out before launching your community-led events? Crystal, what do you think?
I mean, one thing we're really doing is trust. Like, we want to make sure that we have trust within our community, that when we move forward with this process, that they're able to feel confident enough to communicate with us if there's any issues and come to us for support and advice, but also lean on other members that they are familiar with as well to kind of either help support hosting that event or wrangle in attendance for it. And I think if there's no trust for it, then who's going to come to those events? Why are they going to be built in the first place? And so that's really our main focus right now. Great question, by the way.
That's a good one, right? Does anyone else have the most important thing you need before you launch your event program?
Well, like I said before, in my last answer was expectations. Make sure that you have your expectations set. But another really important thing that is really important to me is making sure that there is an escalation process. If somebody doesn't know something, both before, during, and after the event, make sure there is an escalation process for them to follow. So that way they know where to go when they have really important questions.
Awesome. Okay, next question, next most liked. Nicole, another one. She's got some liked questions here. And maybe Eli or Tali, you can do this one because I feel like this is kind of relevant to an event you just hosted. What is the right role for company partners? Do you let them lead groups or sponsor or both?
Eli, do you want to take it?
Sure. So yeah, I would say I have company partners. I would say some partners are terrible at this because what happens is anytime someone comes in and leads a chapter as part of their job, what tends to happen is one, that person leaves the job and the thing just disappears. The chapter disappears because no one else was super excited about it. Or it always becomes the last thing at the infinite queue of work that needs to be done. And so I tend to find that the corporate partners are not usually great chapter leaders. That said, when we've made it work, it comes down to what Ray was talking about. Expectations are just so key there. And to be really clear about that, especially with your partners, because they come to you with multiple incentives. They're not just there because they're excited about the community. They're all super excited about building their business. And sometimes we can make those two things work together beautifully in this way that really aligns and supports each other. But caution is advised.
Tali, anything to add?
I know, I definitely agree with Eli, and we don't have an official collaboration with partners. We do have some that are doing that on their own. I had a not good experience with people that are employees in somewhere led this program, led a chapters, and I just we closed this opportunity because it's not working, and they're not doing this because they're community members. They're doing this because their manager asked them to do that. So it's not. But there is amazing examples of working with partners. So I do recommend researching this more.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody who popped a question in the Q&A tab and got involved there. We're out of time at this point, but the conversation is not over because at CMX, the conversation continues. So if you want to continue talking about community-led programs, user groups, chapter programs, whatever you want to call it, make sure to join the CMX community. There's a button at the top that says join the community. You can click that and join us. We actually have a channel in Slack that's dedicated to conversations about these kinds of programs. So go ahead, join the community, and then join the conversation. I also want to invite you personally to an upcoming event that we have in May, hosted by Tali and Eli, who run the, ready for this, chapter and user group programs CMX Connect chapter. It's like chapter program inception. We have all of the events are dedicated to, again, conversations about community-led event programming. And the event on May 18th is their chapter's 1-year anniversary celebration. Everyone who checks into this event will be given a big old prize. So make sure you RSVP. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to pop the event link in the chat so that you can all make sure to join us for that one. Thank you, Eli. Thank you, Tali. Thank you, Ray. And thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
The person I'm about to bring on stage needs no introduction. She is our events maven, the genius behind CMX Masterclasses, and the beautiful brain who brought chickens to CMX Summit. Please join me in welcoming Anne-Marie Pollocky-Dinkle.
I can't right now. I'm just back here cracking up, doing the thing. Oh, Beth, thank you. Chickens, parrots, got it all. I'm taking votes for this year's bird activity, so please pop them in chat. I'll be going through this, reading it on the back end for sure.
Well, I'm excited to bring Anne-Marie up today because she has a very exciting and special announcement for everybody in our event this afternoon. CMX Summit 2022 Thrive is officially announced. We've solidified our dates, September 13th, 14th, and 15th. This is the biggest, the best, the most global, and the first ever fully hybrid CMX Summit event we have ever hosted.
Yeah,
Anne-Marie.
we are so excited about this. I cannot wait. Really ready to kick this off, get everything going, and look at our cool new design. Who loves the lime green? I do. So once again, CMX Summit 2022, the theme this year is Thrive. We're going to be hosting the event September 13th through 15th in Redwood City, California, USA. That's for the in-person. We're also going to have a virtual aspect. Really excited. So this year, you're going to join seasoned practitioners, emerging leaders, and industry experts as we celebrate CMX Summit 2022. Like I said before, this year's theme is Thrive. Last year, we recognized the rise of the community industry, and this year, we want to continue that trajectory for community professionals to learn the tools and skills they need to have a prosperous community. So we're going to focus all of our talks around 3 pillars: the power of community-led, building sustainable communities, and the new frontier of community. So really looking forward to that.
I know that it's not lost on our community that last year's event was Rise and this year's event is Thrive. I feel like Rise and Thrive. I just had to make sure everybody put that together. So what to expect? I mean, what do you ever expect from CMX Summit? Pure magic, pure joy, and amazing educational opportunities. So explosive keynotes, hands-on workshops, in-depth presentations, panel discussions, community-led networking, which we love, activities, probably some birds, and of course, a ton more. You just have to make sure you RSVP to see it.
Yeah, 100%. Everything that you said, that's what we're going to expect. Again, just really excited about the hybrid factor. Can't wait to see everyone in person and, just mix and mingle with the entire community. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's to come. Our keynote announcement, that'll be coming up in the next couple weeks. In the chat, I really want to know who your dream keynote speaker is. Sky's the limit, literally. Take your time, think about it. Well, not really, because I told you to drop it in chat. Whoever comes first, that's what I want. I want the speed session here. That's what I mean. I need ideas.
Anne-Marie, who's yours? Who's your dream speaker at CMX Summit?
Sitting there, Beth. I would just say mine is Serena Williams. Obsessed. I want to talk to her about her work with the Mom Project community and what she's doing there and her advocacy and, how they're bringing that community together and whatnot. So really, really excited to see that. Oh, okay. So I'm going to be on my phone right now because guess what I'm on? Our app. Woo, woo. Okay, so here we go. Piper, Barack Obama. Oh, me too.
Imagine.
Me too. Beth gave me this greatest advice of the pause. And, when you're talking and presenting and Barack Obama takes like a pause when he needs to collect himself. And I've always remembered that. So that's my pause. Okay, let's go. Elon Musk, Chris Doe, Ryan Reynolds. Ooh, Octavia Spencer. Tim. Great. Okay, ooh, we got another one for Barack Obama. Brene Brown. Eva, of course. Of course. Ooh, Michelle Obama. Can you imagine if we just hosted the Obamas, Beth? What do you think about that?
I mean, dream big, right? That's what we're here for.
Of course, of course. Okay, and then so moving along here, because I could probably go through that all day. Speaker applications, we are coming for you. Those will be open in the next couple weeks. I'm like looking at my dates right now. So next month, be expecting an email with the speaker application link. The CMX team goes through those. We read everything. So please be thorough. We want to hear from you. We want to see what you'll propose, what you'll talk about. We do provide some coaching for all of your presentations and really make sure that you are tightly wrapped up to give the best presentation at CMX. And this year in the application, we'll note if you're able to come and see us in person or if you want to present virtually. Sponsorship opportunities, got a lot of those coming up. Get in touch with us. Sponsor applications will be open soon. I already got a couple of emails in my inbox from the weekly today. So if you're here and you're interested, reach back out to me and I'll get you that link. And then just a couple other things too. The agenda release, just like last year, we'll have a few tracks. Everything will line up to that. If you want to hear something in particular, like reach out. Beth and I are open books. We'll have in-person details and more to come.
It's true. So, I mean, I'm sold. I don't know about all of you, but if you are ready to RSVP for CMX Summit, let me tell you about our tickets. So the virtual tickets, if you're joining us from your house or from the comfort of your own internet connection, virtual tickets are free, always. So you can go and RSVP for a virtual ticket at any time. If you're keen to join us in person, we have a couple different tickets. First of all, our worm tickets, because the only thing earlier than the early bird is the worm. These tickets are $249 US and they're only available for 1 week. So this is like, worms are also impulsive. Worms are like, I gotta get my ticket right now before the sale is done.
Right now.
So make sure you get your worm tickets. After next week, of course, we will have our early bird tickets as well. And then regular tickets go on sale at the end of May. So all ticket levels are all access. You get the same thing with each one. It's just whether you want to spend that much money or not. But some people don't like to spend money at all. So they attend events where there are raffle opportunities to win an in-person ticket to CMX Summit.
It's raffle time. Are you all ready? Right? We're ready for this. Cannot wait. I love a great raffle. I'm excited to bring back our trusty wheel of names, Beth. And did you notice what I did here? It's fully branded to the CMX Summit 2022 theme.
Love it.
Right? Okay, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Press
I love
the
the
center.
wheel of names.
I gotta side eye this. I know, right? There's a lot of names on here. A lot of names.
I love the neon too. Like, what a fun color scheme we've got this year.
Me too. And I thought
Katerina, congratulations. You've won an in-person ticket to CMX Summit. I really hope you can attend. We will email you after the event to make sure you get your coupon code.
Yes, Katerina, congratulations. Beth, I'm feeling a little like I want to do it again.
Let's do it. Let's give away another ticket. You know how much I love giving free stuff away.
Right? Just another little one, please. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Let's do it.
Oh no. I want everyone to hear the cheers too.
Renee, We will also be emailing you your coupon code. Fantastic. So much fun.
Katerina and Renee, we're coming for you.
We're coming for you.
Okay.
I'm so excited about CMX Summit. Thank you for joining us, Anne-Marie, for our fun raffle in your fun neon earrings. You're always on point, and it's such a pleasure.
I love dressing for the occasion. Thanks so much, Beth. I'll see you soon. See you later.
All right, everybody. You know how much I love talking about the mobile app. This app, the CMX Community Mobile App, makes CMX even more accessible than we were before. CMXers around the world are now able to discover, engage with, and connect at CMX events from the comfort of their own phone. This app is revolutionizing the way CMXers connect and engage with our community. And I know that I tend to hyperbolize and I get really excited about everything at CMX, but today I'm using words like revolutionize because that's what we're doing. We had over 200 downloads within our first week of launching, and we have CMXers joining us on the app from 44 countries around the world already, including folks from Nigeria, Brazil, Germany, Israel, and South Africa. It's so cool that everybody is joining us from the mobile app. And so, to continue our fun celebration, I'm excited to bring a brand new face to the CMX stage. Our next session will deep dive into the CMX Community Mobile App and walk you through how to get the most of your experience with CMX events and the community. Please join me in welcoming Nihal Fares, the Director of Product Management at Bevy.
Thanks, Beth.
Welcome, Nihal. Where are you calling in from today?
Cairo, Egypt.
Cairo, Egypt. Global, people, what am I telling you? I can't wait to see what you're going to show us, Nihal. Take it away.
Thanks, Beth. Thanks for the amazing introduction. Hello, everyone. I am Nihal Fares. I am Director of Product at Bevy, and I'm here today to demo the CMX Community App. I hope that many of you are already joining us from the app. If not, make sure to try the next virtual event. It's a really time saver. You will love it. So today we will do a live demo to show you what's available in the app right now. And then after that, we will talk a little bit about our roadmap and what's coming next. And then we can finish it off with some Q&A. So let's start with the demo. So basically, the goal of the app is to make it very easy for people to find and join events wherever they are, whenever they are, like at the ease of like going out, anything, they can join the event, watch the streaming and connect with everyone very easily. Also bringing the whole community together through engagement and communication and networking tools that we are going to release very soon. So first thing, you need to download the CMX app from the App Store and the Play Store. So search for the CMX Events app. As you can see here, once you download the app, you need to log in or create an account first. I'm already logged in. Once you're in, you can see the home, the events, and the chapters pages. The home is a summary of everything that's happening, events and chapters. And then if you click on the events, you can see a list of live events, the current events that are happening. You can see the CMX Community App launch party. You can see a list of upcoming events. And you can see a list of past events. When you click on the event, you can see all the information, where it's happening, when it's happening. You can view all the information of the event, view the full speakers list, open any speaker to know more about them, view the full agenda, check the event agenda even before attending. You can also search for events by keyword. For example, if you are looking for something specifically, you can filter events by tags. If you are interested in specific topics, for example, once you've found the event that you are looking for, you can easily RSVP and join the event from the mobile. So once you click RSVP, you can select the ticket you're interested in. And then you can fill all the information for the registration or the RSVP survey. that's it. You can also add the event to your calendar so that you can get reminders, get reminded before it happens and not forget about it. If you click the side menu, you can see a list of useful information that CMX is highlighting in the app, and you can see a list of the events that you have registered for. On the CMX app, you can join both the small community events, the virtual Connect events, and also the conferences, the bigger conferences. So let's try, for example, joining a virtual event. If there was someone on the stage now presenting, you would see the presentation here. You can see the chat. You can see the Q&A. You can see everyone in the event. You can also like message them if there's someone else in the event right now, and you can easily access your list of direct messages and continue the conversation. You can also join like a conference event like the CMX Summit. So the next CMX Summit will be hosted inside this app. Once you join the virtual conference, you can see the homepage where we are highlighting the sessions that are happening. For bigger conferences, it's important to help people plan their day so they can easily find what's happening, what's next, the sessions that they have bookmarked. You can also see the full agenda. You can join the event chat and start connecting with other people. And you can see the full attendees list and message anyone that you are interested to talk to. And you can, so if we are going to, for example, join a live session here, you can see the video streaming. And you can also minimize the streaming and do whatever you want to do on the app, or even like put it in the background, just listen and do anything other like on your phone. So it's very useful to multitask. Let's leave. And if you open the side menu, you can see the list of other features that are available at the conference, your direct messages, the booths. You can join any booth from the app, the networking tables. And now we are back to the community again. Then you have the list of chapters. You can see the full chapters list. You can search or filter by region. You can search for specific chapters you're interested in. For example, view all the information about the chapter, view the list of events they are hosting or have hosted before. And you can join the chapter to be able to get updates and newsletters whenever they host a new event. So yeah, that's it for the demo for the app. Now we are going to talk a little bit about what's coming next and our roadmap. So I will share some slides, if you can see my slides. So as I mentioned at the beginning, the goal of this app is to make it easier for people to connect to events, like find events, join events very easily, so that they save time and they can do it while doing any other thing. So we are adding more features to facilitate this, like filtering events by event types, or featuring an event on the homepage, or showing events that is closer to you by location or proximity. And there's a lot of other things also that we are adding in the app to make this exploring and discovering events easier. The other exciting thing is the community networking. So the goal of the app is not only to attend events, but to build the whole community together. So we will release features that will allow people to connect with other chapter members. So you can see the full members of a specific chapter. You can learn more about those people, and then you can privately message them on the app. It will be a great opportunity for people from similar locations or similar backgrounds or have similar interests to connect together on the app. And also we are bringing push notifications to allow organizers to send push notifications on the app whenever like there is any update for the event or the chapter, announcing any new news or anything like that. They can, like the chapter admins, they can do this from their phone. They can announce any updates or newsletters on the app. Also, it will help a lot with engagement, so that you can get reminders and get reminded about like events and sessions and things that are happening, so that you don't forget about them. We also have a lot of other features coming after that. I just wanted to highlight like what's coming soon. So please download the app and use it. And I'm very like excited to also hear your feedback about this. So we can now open it for Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nihal, for making some time to show folks what is going on with this app and how to actually get the most of it. There are a couple of questions. Well, Piper wondered how you get to the list of CMX Connect chapters again, but I don't know if we'll share the screen again. So I think, Piper, you have to download it. You gotta give it a bit of a tour for yourself. See where you can find the chapters.
It's pretty obvious. It's like the main navigation. There's home, the bottom tabs, there is home, events, and chapters. So if you click on the chapters, you see the full chapters list of the CMX community.
Perfect. Well, so I have a couple of questions for you. Just talking about push notifications, you talked about enabling those. What features are push notification enabled?
So yeah, good question. So basically, like there's two types of push notifications. There's on demand, or like something that the organizer push, which we might call like announcements. These are like the update that the organizer or like the HQ admin wants to send. And there is like system new push notifications, which are triggered based on some like functionality. For example, if you registered for an event, you may get a reminder or a push notification before it happens, for example, an hour before it happens. If you bookmarked a session, for example, you can get a reminder before it starts, like 15 minutes before it starts. If you get a DM or a private message, you get a push notification for it. Later, for example, if we added like, if we have like recommendations and personalized like list of events, we can like push updates for those too.
Awesome. Well, I know that there's a lot of people here who have downloaded the app. Oh, good. Piper says she sees it. She was looking at the menu on the left. Great. Piper, you're getting live customer support here. One question that I have, because I know it's something that's coming, mentioned on the landing page, how can folks use direct messaging to continue the conversation between events? Because that feature is coming, right?
Yes, actually, like the team is working on it right now, and I think it's going to go live very soon. So basically, the first thing would be like if you message someone on the app during an event, after the events has ended, like on the side menu, once you see like the my events, below it, you will see like direct messages or my direct messages, and you will see the list of messages that you've received during events, and you can continue the conversation with those people. So this is the first thing that we are releasing. After that, we are releasing a way for people to actually start the conversation outside of events. So not only like start a conversation during the event and continue after, you can also like start networking outside of the events. You can like go, I'm in Cairo, I can go for Cairo chapter, for example, if there is one, and start connecting with people there.
Awesome. You know, Nihal, there isn't a Cairo chapter yet. However, that means there's a position open for you to be. I'm just saying.
I'd love to.
So Venia, which I don't know if I'm saying your name right, Venia, but she has been using the app for 2 weeks. She loves it. It's awesome. Just occurred to her that she can get her Thrive Summit, CMX Summit Thrive ticket right from the mobile app. And yes, you can. RSVP for the event on mobile or on desktop, and you can join it from either or. yeah, we're excited. Okay, Nicole has a very important question. Will a version of this app be something that Bevy customers can buy and white label to use for our own community-led event programs in the future? Love it.
Yes, of course. So actually, like at Bevy, we build this product for all the for all the communities that are powered by Bevy. CMX is one of them. We already launched the community app for other customers, like for example, Startup Grind. They are using the community app, and the plan is to use it for all the community customers for Bevy.
Awesome. I love it. I love to see it. Thank you, Nicole. Yes, it's clear that Nicole is starting to get their program ready for launch. I love all of your questions today, Nicole. They're super relevant. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nihal, for joining us again and for making time for our community today.
Thanks, Beth. Thanks for having me.
Well, folks, that's not all. The party, of course, continues in our networking rooms. So you can head to either the top of the screen or you can press the agenda button on the left-hand side of your screen and join our community-led networking breakout rooms. This is a great chance for you to chat with other CMXers, talk about all things community-led, connect about other community building challenges and solutions and experiences you've been having. I will see you in there. Thank you all for joining us, and I will see you in the CMX community.